Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Bhubaneswar Outstanding Society President Dr. J.K. Panda, Honorary Secretary Dr. Sanjeev Kumar Nayak, and Dr. Aditya Das Kea of Neo India Fertility Forum for giving me this opportunity to address you all on a topic of my interest, that is webinars, and how infertility specialists can make best use of it. So, infertility consultants and webinars. So, let us first discuss about webinars, and then we'll come to how infertility consultants can make best use of it. A teacher is a supreme artist, for he colors and shapes so many futures. He also takes pride in refining the skills of his pupils. It is a two-way learning. Always a teacher learns after getting feed-forwards from his students, and a student follows his teachers in the initial years, of course. Then this is my email ID, tandanarchana@gmail.com. You can contact me for any of your queries. The modes of teaching and learning as they have evolved is from verbal to written to transmission of electronic data used these days. So initially it was pictographs, then came in blackboards, then green boards, then whiteboards, and then the printing press, which printed material, books, journal, pamphlets for learning and teaching. And then came in electronic communication, where we had television with talks and discussions. Then came computers with audio-visual teaching. And finally the seminars, which are moving now to webinars and virtual classrooms and virtual seminar rooms and seminar premises. So the only technology that is used here is the projector displaying the PowerPoint slides and maybe a laser pointer. Nobody ever thought that it could get better than this. The disadvantage of this was that limited people were being benefited. What is electronic technology? Electronic creation and transfer of data, where fiber optic cables are used to transfer documents and audio visuals using World Wide Web. Internet web, where fiber optic cables is used to transmit data from one place to another within seconds. From America, a person can contact a person sitting in India and transmit audio visual data through these high-speed nets. Continuing the lineage of teaching, learning webinars took birth. What is a webinar? Everyone knows how a seminar or a presentation looks like and how it is conducted. On one hand is the presenter, and on the other, participants who listen and interact with the presenter here. However, imagine a scenario when you are sitting at your home or office and participating in a seminar thousands of miles away, and giving a lecture which is being listened to by hundreds of students around the globe in real time, and also answering their questions and doubts. Well, that is what a webinar does. Here, two pictures are seen from a webinar I had held in India, which was webcast for first time in our country, and it was a 2-day session on 19-20th March. And first day we had operative workshops, which also received webinar transmitted from Max Saket, and transmitted surgeries which were conducted in our premises at the Thankar Mahavir Medical College to the whole of the world from Muradabad. And on 20th we had lectures and panel discussions where delegates and faculty took part from different parts of India as well as from the world, and it was then webcast. The whole session was webcast to the delegates who had logged in. So here you can see Dr. Shaizes Nair, who had logged in from Kerala to give his lecture on Shaizes technique of cesarean section, and here there is a panel discussion which Dr. Nisha Bhatnagar is conducting. Here Dr. Aditya, Dr. Rajkumari and Dr. Puneet Arora were part of this webinar in Muradabad, and Dr. Marcus from Spade had logged in as a panelist, and this whole event was webcast through a webinar from Muradabad. So, the first time in India a webinar was held and a webcast alive on 1920th March. It was the first time because the next was on 13-14th April from Apollo Hospitals, which was not conducted by Apollo, but it was a transmission of a webinar which was held in UK, transmitted to Apollo, and then Apollo had transmitted that webinar, and it had charged somewhere around 12,000 for 4 days, and 2-day session we had held, we had not charged anything. So webinar technology, it uses modern technologies like the internet, computer, the speaker, headphone to cut across time, space and money. This means that neither the speaker nor the participant needs to be physically present face to face. Instead, they are connected by internet. Thus, you may present, listen to or interact with various people in the same time from various regions of the globe. Any questions so far regarding understanding of what is a webinar? Let me see if there are any raised hands or any questions. I'll unmute and ask them. No. So people are clear about the concept. Now, what are the features of webinars? Webinars are completely different from a Skype chat and a Hangout. So it is neither a text chat nor a video chat, but it is a screen sharing application where participants can show anything on the screen through PowerPoint slides or through audio visuals and informational videos, and multimedia files can be presented, and a markup tool and remote mouse pointer can be used for interaction. Another feature is a real-time audio communication by the use of headphones and speakers through a computer. The presentation activity can be recorded for a later use, which I am doing today. The presenter can shift the responsibility on another presenter, like the responsibility was shifted on me by the moderator there. Then people connected to the meeting can text chat for live question and answers. It also allows conducting polls and surveys. Here is a poll which I had conducted on a webinar held on IUGR from Muradabad, and there were questions which were asked. So this is how you plan the poll through a webinar, and then I'll show you how it is seen by those who have logged in for the session.
So now the audience while listening, we got answers from you also.
So this is how a poll question is lodged on the screen for all the delegates logged in, and then they can mark the right answer, and the moderator or the speaker can see the answers and the level of understanding of those who have logged in. So the advantages of webinars are same as disadvantages of live conferences. That prompts us to acknowledge the advantages of webinars. As long as there is internet access and a computer, you can interact with people anywhere in the world. Enormous expenses which are saved through travel and material cost when a webinar is used. It is the most cost-effective method for conducting meetings and seminars. The participants can become a part of the meeting because of the features like desktop control and instant polling. So when you travel from one place to another using air, bus, train, whatever mode of transportation you want to use, you spend a lot of time, a lot of money on your transport, which can be saved through webinars. Then it is more convenient because you are at your place attending just that half-hour session which you are interested in. You don't have to go and waste a lot of time for the topic of your interest. So the meetings can be conducted and transmitted from 2 to more than 1,000 people anywhere in the world. The meetings can be conducted in real time and it can be recorded for a later date. A webinar has the advantage of being able to set up in a matter of weeks. Previously, the seminars used to take many months of planning, sometimes years, when you had to hold an all India conference. For our fraternity, these presentations also serve the function of keeping us, the professionals, up to date on the latest innovations in our field. A webinar may be easily accessed from a smartphone, tablet, or other electronic devices from the comforts of home and working place. It is easy to reach your target audience instantly and efficiently with this online communication. So a mobile and a laptop, if you have, even if you are moving in a bus or you are there in your chamber, you can attend the conference from your premises. It provides a convenient medium for introverts. Experienced and reputed teachers are available to a wider range of audience spread across the globe. For physically handicapped and old-aged doctors, this is the best mode to keep oneself updated comfortably. Invitations, full-service registrations, and reminders automatically generated. Easy to set up and host after initial orientation. On-site tech support may not be necessary. Pre-webinar practice sessions may be included in the package deal. So it is dirt cheap. You get value for your money. For 100 attendees, you only have to shell out 7,000 rupees for a month for a webinar, which is valid for 1 month, though for a session of half an hour also you have to buy a package of 1 month. So, and for 500 attendees, it is about approximately 13,000. For 1,000 attendees, it is approximately 19,000. So, the disadvantages of webinars: the dynamic interaction as seen in the live webinars. Here you see all the delegates and faculty who had come on for our webinar cum seminar at Moradabad. So this live dynamic interaction is missing in a webinar. Friendly relations develop here very fast. You can see the smile and the satisfaction on each face here. The disadvantages of webinars: the interaction by polling and show of hands has been introduced in webinars to make it more interactive, but still the instructor cannot gauge the level of understanding among the participants as much as in a live seminar. So here Dr. Nisha Bhatnagar and the panelists here can of course see the expressions of those who are attending this conference. They can also see the expressions of the person who has logged in through webinar. Like here you can judge that Dr. Marcus had just got up from his bed as it was wee hours in the morning, and he was attending the conference from the comforts of his family lounge. But Dr. Marcus cannot judge the level of understanding or the expressions of the panelists or the delegates present here. Then technical difficulties is if you adopt for any technology, then of course technical difficulties will be there. The net speed is not that high at places, and maybe your phone does not have 3G, or if it is working, is not working to that perfect level that you can hear to the webinar. But surely as the progress is going on net transmission, these disadvantages will be sorted out. So webinars can be live or recorded. Here you can see a live question answer session which was held by a fertility consultant, and it was relayed through a webinar for the patients who had logged in for their comfort. I show this webinar to you.
And welcome to another
because
webinar
you
in
can
our Ask an Expert series. I'm Mary
you can
McCaffrey
produce
from
and
Private
transmit
Pregnancy
such
UK,
webinars
and I'll be your
for
host
your
today.
advantage.
With us we have Dr. Amin Gorgey from the Fertility and Gynecology Academy in London. Dr. Gorgey is one of the UK's leading fertility consultants and among the very few who specialise in reproductive immunology. Dr. Gorgie will be answering questions from our audience on male and female infertility, IVF treatment, egg donation, surrogacy, recurrent IVF failure, recurrent miscarriage, reproductive immunology and immune testing. If you have a question that you would like to ask, please go to our website and submit an Ask an Expert section. You can also...
So this is how you can be your own media.
Then infertility consultants can make a focused use of webinars for education, administration and training purposes, for education of self, postgraduates, staff, patients. It can be used for training and teaching and knowing about the recent advances, and to hold workshops to transfer and propagate skills. For education, educating self through webinars. For teaching, regular classes can be held for postgraduates in medical colleges which are near or distant. You can conduct and participate live webinars and record them and relay them later for city members, for national conferences, for international conferences. You can hold panel discussions for various complicated issues in infertility, discussions between consultants spread across the globe to come to concrete conclusions. Suppose I'm sitting here, Dr. Aditya was there in Orissa, and Dr. Puneet Arora, Dr. Rajkumari and others who are from Gwalior and other parts of country were in their premises and had logged in through webinars from say Delhi, from Bangalore, from Hyderabad. I am from Moradabad. We could all be connected, and one by one Dr. Aditya could have shifted the responsibility to each of us, and we could have a lovely panel discussion through webinars, and the need for travel for Dr. Puneet, Dr. Rajkumari could have been avoided. So this can be the advantage. For GBN, general body meetings, managing committee meetings of NIF, and also for FOXY and other associations, you can use such webinars for logging into meetings and answering questions which are of importance to all the members who are members, but due to some restraints and some reasons cannot attend the meeting, cannot spare that much time and money to reach the venue, but can be part of it through webinars. So webinars can be used for interactive workshops on IUI, IVF, where a consultant can relay live all the steps of how an IUI or IVF is conducted for people who want to learn it. Then you can relay your talks on various issues of interest for the delegates. You can conduct webinars for your staff, nurses, for your legal, financial consultants. You can conduct meetings with them if they are short of time and if they are at distant places for various reasons and cannot come to the venue at that particular time. They can log in and attend the meeting. So the convenience is there. Then it can be used to conduct tutorials, workshop, talk shows for your patients, and then these can be labeled as business webinars. There are you can update your website with the various live and recorded webinars which you have conducted or conducting or planning for your patients to log into to learn. Here is a nurse conducting a webinar for patients and talking about optimizing embryo transfer. So the patient, when he comes into your clinic, is well versed with the procedure and is not uncomfortable. Then there are webinar libraries for medical faculty, for patients, where people can learn and earn credit points. So there are classes and webinars for professional training. Then remember how assisted reproductive technologies have developed. Test tube baby was the first test tube baby was born in 1978, Louis Brown, and today, 40 years down the line, we have three-parent genetic engineering in 2016. So similarly with webinars, the chat began in 1980, then webinars took birth in 2010, virtual conferencing through avatars, which is still in an experimental stage, and real human transportation can be expected somewhere around 2040. So this is virtual conferences. Here you have the venue shown of any conference. Here you are entering the venue and you can sit there and watch whichever program. You have various classrooms, various meeting rooms, various conference halls where you can go for your interest and log in and take advantage of these sessions. Here I have recorded a session, and this is how a virtual conferencing goes. See, you can see this, this is me say, and I am there to give a lecture. I walk down, here is the board where I show my slides, talk to the delegates. You can all log in and come and sit here as delegates, even though you are not present there. So it is all a virtual conferencing going on. So these are the options I can utilize for conferencing. Then the audience who have logged in can clap, can raise their hands, can move to nodding, can to watch, see the watch. So all options are available, just like human beings. There is a laser pointer, and here the person, I have added another conference hall. So this is how you change the venue and go to other conference halls. This is about virtual conferencing. So, and then the next development will be human teleporting. In spite of disadvantages, the advantages are limitless. With net speed increasing in leaps and bounds, the coming years promise a bright future for webinars with scientists working at human teleportation. The day is not far off when an infertility specialist will be beamed into a seminar, workshop, or patient's house, or vice versa, using high net speed. So, virtual conferencing will change to real teleportation, human teleportation, where a human enters in the teleportation machine. Suppose I enter this machine and I am teleported from Moradabad to Bhubaneswar, and you can see me walking there on the stage just as the moderator, real moderator is there, and you can see my expressions, my movement of hands, and feel as if I am there in real, in spite of me sitting back at my place. So live webinars are still ruling from 2014 to 2016, with webinars taking a back seat. These are the slides showing the success of my webinars which I had held. The average time in session by people spent was 157 minutes. Average interest rating was 68%, and 15 to 20 people attended on both the days and at one time 15 were logged in, at the other time other 15 were logged in. So you can say that many a people had logged in, and for the first time if a webinar was held, it definitely carries meaning, these figures. So it all depends on you when this year will come into existence, how fast you become tech savvy, how fast you adopt technology for your learning and teaching purposes, and webinars sure will take it up from live seminars. In coming years, the traffic on roads is sure to reduce with advance in technology as people adopt to these communication modes for travel, business, teaching, learning, and advertisement. So the internet will become our highways, and billboards will shift from highways to webways, and we sure will progress to an eco-friendly era, reducing noise pollution and pollution as a whole, as also saving time, the most precious commodity for tourism, mental relaxation, outdoor games, and walks in parks. Doctors, and I would say here, infertility consultants sure need to get trained and adopt webinars as a mode of learning, teaching, discussions, workshop, conferences, and for patient tutorials, for they surely bring down the cost of the conferences from crores to thousands for organizers, and from thousands to few rupees for delegates, saving a lot of revenue and time, and are eco-friendly too. So these people are taking a pledge here to adopt to webinars as a mode of learning and teaching, and I expect you all to take the same pledge by becoming tech savvy. So any questions are welcome. With a deep sense of gratitude, I thank you all for sparing your precious time. Let me see if people are interested in asking questions, and then I stop. I hand it up to the moderator there.